Hey YouTube, how y'all doing? It's Andrew again. It's great to see you, stuntman, actor, athlete, and high performance coach. Thanks for joining my channel. And today we're going to be going through 3 tips and psychological benefits of starting a YouTube channel and why you're good enough. Are you good enough? Do you belong here? Yes, you do belong here, and yes, you are good enough. And it's not just going towards a YouTube channel, but it's also more towards like chasing your dreams, documenting your life, using video reels as a form of resume and validation, and building your own confidence, self-confidence, and just making yourself feel more secure about when you have to show the world who you are, right? Okay, sweet. Well, thank you for coming to the video. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe. If you have comments, let me know your journeys. I'm always willing to listen and hear out what you have to say. And let's get into it. First tip number 1 is is refrain from the inner dialogue. So you'll notice in my history, there was 2 videos, the inner voice and the outer voice. So let's talk about the inner voice. The inner voice is the, you're not good enough. You don't belong here. This isn't your place. You think you can do that? You really think you can do X, Y, and Z? Or anytime you hear these kind of questions or phrases or terms, this isn't actually your voice. Like, when you were a child, you were never telling yourself this when you were like playing with like a rattle or like crawling around in the house. No, you were telling yourself this after people told you and conditioned you and made it seem like their world was the only thing that mattered and your world didn't. I'm sorry, but you are good enough and you always have been good enough. And if you aren't good enough for certain things, that's why we train. That's why we practice. We follow the rule of 10,000 because that's how we become the best of ourselves. And we aren't good enough for whoever that person is. That's great. There's so many other people out there in the world. There's 7, 8 billion people in the world, almost 10 billion people out in the world right now. And YouTube is massive. So if you don't blow up right away or you don't blow up in your city or X, Y, and Z, it's going to eventually, like the circulation of the, of the whole flow of the system is just, that's how it works. You know, I mean, eventually things go around, and just stay consistent. Okay, so build that YouTube, build the consistency, build the confidence, and shut out the inner mind. The outer voice, that's the people telling you it. The inner voice, that's you reassuring their voices to keep on repeating that. So kill the inner voice and start building a whole new you. Create a whole new channel. If you want to go on with a character like persona and play the actor type of role and put on a theatrical persona, that's cool. Or if you want to do like a raw, real kind of like delivery like I've been trying to do in these past few videos, try that out. I would say it's a little bit challenging. Have some notes in advance, just so that way like you aren't like stumbling and fumbling too much. And let's get into the micro tips of that first tip. Identify the challenge and negative talk. Replace it with affirmations and evidence of your accomplishments. So look at the things that you've accomplished today, the tiny little wins. And with those tiny little wins, that's more validity to your self-confidence and building of your self-esteem. Psychological benefit. Shifting from self-critical mind state to self-compassion enhances resilience and self-esteem. And that is confirmed. Every time that you see somebody get really good at something, you'll see that they don't need people around them to tell them what to do or how to do it. They know how to do it. People might not have strong mental resilience or confidence, but a lot of people with that same lacking of the mental confidence has an incredible innate ability or talent of some sort in other things, physical or verbal or whatever it is, right? So talent goes beyond the human psyche, and sometimes talent overflows so much that it disrupts into like the imagination of our questions bleeds into the imaginations of our talents, right? So make sure those questions that you have for yourself are positive and reassuring. Not, am I good enough? It's, will they be good enough for me, right? Like when I started getting that, will they be good enough for me kind of mentality, I realized that's when people started seeing value and started like flocking towards. Not flocking towards, but like, you know, start reaching out. Share your journey of overcoming self-doubt in videos. Viewers resonate with vulnerability, and reflecting on your growth reinforces your belief in your worth. So yeah, like I had an adopted father who used to say some really vicious things, especially at a very young age. And I was just trying to recover from coming out of an orphanage. And I knew at the time the 2 adopted parents were lying to me about they didn't mention anything about it. You know, they were just so secretive about it, and they were just carrying on like things were normal, but things weren't normal. To them, it was normal. But you have to understand, when you adopt a child, you have to put that child first. It's not about your blasted lives. It's about that child first, right? So once as I realized, like, these two were like, they completely dropped my name. They dropped my name. I don't even know where my birth certificate or anything is, right? So that kind of stuff is, you know, like, nobody wants to live in a lie of secrecy and generational trauma. So that's something that I knew in myself that I had to separate myself from. And I'm going through the process of changing the name. So that's why you'll see, like, in my social medias, I'll go from Andrew Mirage to Master Khan. Because, to be honest with you, I really I don't have a first name. Like, I didn't have a name when I was yeah, so that's why I'm kind of like telling you guys, hey, refrain from the inner dialogue, because that inner dialogue is dead to me, and I don't need that inner dialogue anymore, right? My inner dialogue now is to help out the community, give back to people, and just really focus on being the best I could be, because the best that I could be contributing to the community will just grow a great community, right? Like, it's already happening in the film community. It's already happening in my athletic world community with all the other clubs and everyone really appreciating it. So build that community, and that's going to be part of point number 3. So I'm kind of rushing into my points right now. Embrace imperfection as it grows. And that's very important, because I shared this with only a few people, but I guess I'm going to share it with YouTube now because I'm a full union member. But when I was an apprentice, you're like, when you become a member in the film union, you have to go through an apprentice for a certain amount of time. It could go for a very long time. It could be a very short time. It all depends on the opportunities you're given and if those opportunities follow through, right? So fortunately for me, a lot of opportunities did follow through. A billion of opportunities not, but that's the industry. I still became a full union member, which is great. But during my very first credit, when I got my apprenticeship, my very first credit as a full union member, after like 11 years of training stunts and doing indie stunt films and I finally got my big break, that big phone call, and I failed. I failed in front of 150 people on a major film set. And I was supposed to do a parkour sequence, and I hopped over the rail and I descended down about 12, 13 feet. And I did it about 5 or 6 times. And at that point, like, you know what I mean? Like, I should have just said, you got 4 or maybe 3, right? So after, I think it was like the 9th or 10th take, I hopped over the rail and my foot slipped and I fell backwards off like this fire escape alley balcony and onto my head, onto cement, and rolled. But luckily with my parkour training, I protected my skull and like rolled out. I have a little gash from it, but like I protected my skull and rolled out. That was devastating for me in my career. And this is where I really want you to understand, like, embracing the imperfection of everything is super important, because if that didn't happen to me, I wouldn't have had a wake-up call, an eye-opener, and I wouldn't have been able to like know where I was mentally as an athlete. Like, that's a massive blow to the ego. It was a little tiny bit of an injury. It was a little couple stitches. But it was just it was like such a failure. Like, that was the first time that the boss and the corporations trusted me, and they couldn't after that. Like, I was stagnant for about 2 years. I was going through a deep depression, and then I didn't really have the thing with the family, so I was by myself. So all those imperfections really slapped me in the face. But I knew that if I kept on training and I kept on like helping out people in my community, especially newer actors and newer stunt performers, and just getting people connected, that good things will happen. And I really believe in karma. Like, I've done a lot of dumb stuff in the past in my youth, and the karma would immediately happen. So I notice, like, if I do good now in my older years, it comes right back around and it's immediate. Sometimes it's not, but I don't really rely on it. But it's good to know that there's people out there that need the help, and I have the knowledge and the ability to help them, right? So kind of sucks I had to go through that in the very first 2 years, or in my very first gig. But that first 2 years of apprenticeship really was a kick in my tail. And woke me up and, you know, made me the performer that I am now. Now the industry's a little slow, so I can't really complain too much, but, you know, being, you know, like full union and everything now is perfect. Like on my websites and everything is just, you know, like I don't have to worry anymore. You know, I don't have to go through that screening process or any of that. Now it's just, you know, all the buddy stuff that we have to worry about. Embrace imperfection. Understand that nobody is perfect, and growth comes through trial and error. Celebrate progress and imperfection. Make sure you celebrate your imperfections. If you fall forwards, get up, falling forwards, and keep going forwards. Don't ever fall backwards, baby. Make sure you keep that in mind. That's very important. It reduces anxiety and builds confidence by valuing effort over outcomes. YouTube tie-in document moments of growth, which I just did with you guys. These videos become both proof of progress and inspiration of others to embrace your journey. So the reason why I want you to start your YouTube journey is because I want you to document little bits of your growth, so that way in the future people could look at it and be inspired by it, right? Like I completely failed on my very first stunt gig. I completely, like, in front of corporate people, in front of like A-list actors, in front of, you know, in front of everybody. I failed badly. But to this day, I have a lot of people tell me that, you know, like, you know, congratulations on making it this far. And a lot of more people are actually kind of like shocked that I haven't had a lot more credits under my name. But yeah, right now I'm at, I think I'm at like 24 credits in the union. You need 100 to become a junior stunt coordinator. So that's my goal. That's one of my goals. Yeah, I want you to set little goals for yourself and just like try to hit those goals. It's very important. Okay. Tip number 3, discover strength in your community. And remember at the end of, like, when I was talking about the end of point number 1, it wasn't until people started reaching out to me after I silenced the voice inside, and I realized that I could create a strong voice to go and help other people. So that's, once the connection of community happened, that's when I really started to feel the confidence and the safety net that I needed. Right now, the thing is, like, you gotta keep in mind there's not going to be the person in your life that cares about you more than you, right? Like you're gonna run into a lot of good friends that will be there for you, but they wouldn't be there for you forever. And you're gonna run into a lot of wonderful people that may have great resources and access to stuff, but that, like, nothing lasts forever, right? So whatever little blessing or benefit or whatever little privilege thing you get, cherish it and really appreciate it, and appreciate the people that helped you through it. And just know, like, you know, work hard, and hopefully one day you could pay it back to those people. Or if you can't pay it back to those people, pay it back to other people in the future that are in desperate need or dire need of a situation where they could get helped, and you could be that person to do it. Because as the cycle of life goes around, you want to make sure that karma of good energy just stays with you, and you don't want to bring in any type of bad juju, right? Like, we already silenced the voice and got rid of it. Engage with like-minded people who refrain from who reinforce positivity and authenticity. Psychological benefits of that fosters belonging and validation, reducing the feelings of isolation. So yeah, when you have a lot of people hitting you up, when you have people, like, when you start your YouTube channel and you link all your socials to it and you link all your, like, purpose to it, you're gonna realize that a lot of people want to follow you. A lot of people enjoy your voice, and you do belong in a place. Like, you are valuable. You may not be valued or appreciated where you are right now. You might just be in the wrong time, space, wrong people, but there is a right spot for you, and you have to make sure you go out and find that right spot, because it's not going to find you. That's the only thing. You have to go out, you have to get in your car, you have to get on your bicycle or your scooter or your skateboard, or even if you got to walk, you got to get to that point, right? And when you're there, just, if it's the place that makes you the happiest in the world, get to know the people that run the place and let them know that, and share that happiness with them, and you'll be on the first step of really, really documenting something really cool. And that'll be a great way to get that YouTube series started, right? So start a YouTube channel and believe in yourself. You are good enough. You are good enough. You are valuable. You are worth it. I know it. Because if you weren't worth it, you wouldn't have watched this video. You wouldn't have heard what I had to say. You wouldn't have related to some of the stuff that I had to say. So I just want to thank you again. Like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please comment either the video, how you feel about it, or any personal journeys you are going through and why you feel you weren't good enough. And then maybe I could like hit you back and, who knows, maybe create a video on that or create a topic on that or something, right? So thank you very much. I love each and every one of you. And yeah, have a wonderful day. And I look forward to sharing another video with you. Take care. Be good. Talk soon. Bye.